How you doing? I'm Big D. Welcome to the show. I do appreciate you spending a few minutes of your day with me. Now, what we're going to talk about is silver, gold, commodities, copper, such as we could talk about crypto. We're going to talk about all kinds of different things that we're seeing taking a hit today. And it could it be something to do with the Federal Reserve chair being chosen by President Trump? Now, future trading involves a substantial risk loss and may not be suitable for all investors. So, for that alone, be, take careful consideration whether such trading is suitable for you in the light of the financial condition. Also, please see my disclaimer in the description below. Welcome. Good morning. Today is Friday, January 30th. I'm Big D again. So maybe a little CTA month profit taking is going on as well as profit taking in general. Um, well, as some of the headlines here, gold, silver collapsing as the dollar rises on the Fed nominee. Trump he came out on True Social saying that he's nominating Kevin Warsh to be chairman of the board of governors for the Federal Reserve System. He said that Warsh will go down as one of the greatest Fed chairs in American history. So he stated this, and the market reacted. A little bit of sell-off of a consolidation for the markets are well off their lowest levels here across the board, with some of the markets recovering from those earlier losses. You have three different market segments that are green. If you're watching it, wherever you watch it, wherever you watch your market, to see where gold, silver is, see where um, the market is. If you watch the Dow and the S&P and the Nasdaq, wherever you see that, I'm sure you're seeing some green now. Being at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, again, January 20th, January 30th, 2026. Um, is the dollar index? It's also 10-year treasury yields and also the volatility index. So it's not just gold, silver selling off. It's a little bit of copper, maybe. The risk segment across the board with all the FX currencies down, all of your agricultural products, your cryptocurrencies, energies, uh, stocks in general. Yeah, stocks are taking it again. All sell off here, but well off their lowest prices and lowest levels ever. So that's a good thing, which is very important. Now, the average range of gold jumping $150 an ounce, and then silver up again about $7-8 an ounce. And you look at the precious metals, the ETF flows, where the ETFs are selling gold, platinum, silver, they're buying palladium. So you look at those gold held by ETFs here. It rose 1.5% this year to 100 plus 0.5 million ounces. The gold is up 25% this year. They did cut 120,000 ounces of gold in the previous trading session, and the daily percentage changed around about 0.1%. Now you look at the silver market, they're continuing to liquidate from the ETF standpoint. The ETFs cut 7.4 ish million troy ounces, and it was the biggest one day decrease since October 16th. 6 straight days of decline here is the longest streak since October 29th. Year to date, total ETFs declined 4.2%, dropping about 1% overnight. The gold silver ratio popping up about 51 to 1 as of the record in then dipping a little bit down here of 50 to 1. Futures are kind of consolidating as of this moment around 5,100 on the gold market. You got copper at 606. Copper hit the top of the trend line where we were looking right at around 640, 650 range before giving up on its gain. One thing about the market is you look at the global destruction. If we have some kind of renewal conflict with Iran, as far as people trend to hunker down, and that's where you saw copper futures when some of the escalations were going on in some of the headlines. That's when we saw prices give back not only on the U.S. equity fronts, but copper and things like that. Copper is a great indicator of the global growth. You saw the arrival of U.S. aircraft carrier strike group to the Middle East gave Trump this new, more forceful option to carry out threats and an attack on Iran. And the choices carry some serious risks of retaliation from Iran as well. So that was what really caused part of the sell-off today, as far as copper and U.S. equities, as well as some of those earnings that came out from the Mag 7. Now the precious metal miners, they're tumbling in pre-market trading. Thursday losses as gold and silver are down, but again recovering as of this recording. You look at the broader macro market of the stock futures, they're retreating as the Trump administration prepares for Kevin Warsh to be nominated. It was really clear that he was getting nominated because the fact that Trump stated this could have been someone who was qualified for a job a few years ago, and that's where he got the hint that it was just somebody else that he knew and was close to respected in his niche, so to speak. So the S&P 500 futures down 0.4%, NASDAQ down 0.5%, Russell down under about 1%, but again, well off the lows. You're going to hear me talk about multiple times here, so that the choice of Warsh for Trump's nominee to be the next Fed chair. And I think this is a really good thing. This might be viewed as a kind of a hawkish, other than the other contenders, but he's long viewed as an inflation hawk. His pro, the respect they kind of ripple through the market of him being appointed. We saw the dollar gaining against all the different peers. We saw treasuries fall. We saw the long end of the curveball as rising. The 10-year note up about 0.2%. And then we look at the earnings stuff. The earnings, to shift gears to earnings out of 155 companies have reported so far. 78% of the BT analysts forecast 16 have missed. You look at some of the things that are coming out here. We're going to have Chevron, Exxon, Mobil, American Express, some of these companies that are reporting before the bell. And then you all have PPI scheduled. Chicago PMI will have ISM manufacturing for January. You're going to have two Fed speakers coming out talking on the markets are now anticipating 15.3 likelihood of a 25% basis point cut as of March meeting. April's like 31%, but I'll have to check, and maybe that'll be in my next next video. The dollar index, since the news coming off a bit, well, you got the euro currency, you got the WTI crude oil futures, which got a lot of the geopolitics bid. 64.93. You still remaining a bit they're still remaining a bit elevated here, and then also looking at the potential breakout to the upside here if the conflict escalates. We saw European stocks, they rose. We saw Asian equities, they fell, with tech really delivering those broader declines. Dollar index making new lows. You're probably going to see gold and silver pop, which we already know how volatile silver and gold are anyways, especially silver. But gold goes up, silver goes up, vice versa. It already rallied about $2 off its lows, which, since we've been talking here, actually, the Asian Pacific Index falling as much as 1.2%. You guys got any questions? Leave them in the comment section. Remember, futures and options trading does involve risk, and it may be suitable for more experienced investors, so to speak. Future trading involves a substantial risk loss and may not be suitable for all investors. Therefore, careful consideration whether such trading is suitable in light of your type of financial situation. But we're seeing the issues with silver being available for sale. I have called some local places that I've purchased silver in my area, and nobody is buying. They have no idea if they're going to go forward, because if they would have bought the other day, they would have lost quite a bit of money. But if they can hang on to it, it's almost impossible to not say it's not going to go back up. But will it make it to the $122, which it was just yesterday morning? We don't know. Nobody knows. It's like I said, silver especially is very volatile when it comes to a metal that's now part of the critical minerals list in the American critical minerals list. That's just mind-blowing that they took this long to put silver on the critical minerals list. But thank you for stopping in. I do appreciate it. Please check out the next video. There's going to be some information that you're going to want to hear. God bless. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend.